talking to Josh Hayes. We want to know what you're working on right now. You're modifying boots and bodywork and getting yourself comfy.
Yeah, I modified some bodywork. I stepped on some, so I feel bad now.
They're gonna put you to work putting it back together.
Yeah, boot modifications are something I have to do to all of them. Just the way I hang on to the motorcycle, and a couple little things just to help me be a little more comfortable. And that's what this is about today, pretty much. First day of the Daytona tire test, and just figuring things out a little bit. Don't get to go on track till 2 o'clock, so I'm kind of waiting a bit. I'm probably go watch the 2 or 3 bikes going around the racetrack in a few minutes, but yeah, you know, just getting familiar with the guys and looking at the bike a little bit and try to figure some things out.
How do you start with a bike like this? Do you push on the forks and go, okay, let's put in 4 clicks of rebound and turn it in the preload?
You know, this is a very good race team. I had to believe it whenever I signed up, and I wanted to sign up with this team. So I'm assuming that they've got their stuff together pretty well. I'm going to trust what their starting point is going to be. Go out and ride the bike, see what it's like a little bit, then come in and put in a little of my own input and see where we go from there. So got to have an open mind, you know, see how it goes. They got to know something, right?
Well, are you going to ride in the Daytona 200 on the sport bike?
Yeah, we are going to ride, both Ben and myself. So there'll be 4 Yamahas out in that class. I will get to practice a little bit on that bike tonight. I think I'm just going to ride Josh Aaron's bikes a little bit, and they will build me my own bikes for the race. But no, I'm looking forward to it, you know. This is going to be like, last year I would say, I'm getting to ride the enemy's bike. But, you know, now I get to be the enemy. So
your own best enemy.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm looking forward to riding the bike, and I saw a lot of potential in the bike, and I got to see what it was capable of, racing against it, and it'll be fun to have that and see what I can do making a weapon out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that their bike's probably pretty good. I'm just going to jump on it and ride it the best as I can, and try not to make too many changes because what they had worked. So again, just go figure it out and see what we can do.
We'll look forward to a debrief at the end of it, and perhaps you can talk us through some of the changes you made and things you found and things that work really well, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think, like I said, a lot of, especially today being Friday, is just going to be a lot of shakedown stuff, you know. These guys have never had these bikes on racetrack before. New engine firing order and all that kind of thing. I think that it's going to be interesting. The data guys are just going to be trying to master things and make them run well. And we'll probably focus more on that than we will on much chassis stuff. I think that the chassis stuff is probably going to be a little bit easier to get sorted out. But I'm just glad, like, hey, I'm with Yamaha. We're here riding. So, you know, that's good. I'm really happy about that.
About the firing order, do you think you'll be able to feel it? Do you think you'll be able to feel what they're saying? Like it's because of the firing order, it lets the tire hook up more?
I have no idea. We'll have to talk about that later.
It's nighttime. You've just been on the R6. Tell us what's most wonderful about the R6 compared to other things.
It's pretty interesting. It's a neat motorcycle. It's the engine. You know, I was trying to explain to these guys. It feels a bit like a sewing machine. You know, it's actually a really smooth, good running bike, and shifts real positive. A lot of silly little things like that. I don't think I've ever ridden a slipper clutch that works as well as this one. So it's actually, I've never been fans of slipper clutch, but this one actually works really well in this machine. And I'm still just getting a feel for things, you know, chassis-wise. I'm still riding Josh's bike, you know, and he's a little bit lighter than me. This is kind of like riding my wife's bike a little bit, like riding Melissa's bikes. But it's getting a feel for how far can I lean this thing over, what's it feel like when I get there. And, yeah, I feel like I'm taking a little bit of a methodical approach. It's also day one, and I'm usually still kind of yawning and trying to wake up on day one. So I think sleep on it a little bit tonight. Hopefully tomorrow will be an even better day. So.
How do you start to determine where that max lean angle is? Did you just start to feel the front start to go away, or what?
No, usually you crash. Well, you know, it happens sometimes that way, but you know, I don't know. You start just leaning the thing over until it tells you something like, hey, don't do that anymore. You hope that you didn't go too far when you did it. So It's, you know, you lean it over, you get the front end to push, you get it to chatter, you get it to do something wrong. Then you try to fix that little bit, and then you push on it till it does something bad again. And at some point you realize, okay, this is about all I'm going to get out of it. And I'm trying not to do that on day one. It's just go right on beyond that and screw the pooch, I guess. You know, first day on the job. So
yeah, let's keep the job for day 2.
Exactly.
Okay, R1. You were out on the precious R1. Tell us about it. Could you feel the firing order?
Yeah, the bike actually feels totally different than anything I've ever ridden, but I cannot say a negative thing about it at this point. The bike, I feel, has a ton of potential in the motorcycle. We're still learning a lot about the motorcycle. I'm just in the very few laps that I got, it's a matter of learning what the engine characteristics are. You know, figuring out, can the bike rev that very, very high, or is it just a mapping issue? You know, does power sign off early, or does mapping need to be cleaned up so it will rev further? I don't know these things yet, and things like that. Chassis, we're starting from scratch. You know, they haven't run forks like these motorcycles, so we're figuring that out a bit. And we have some ideas. We got very few laps today. We had a couple little issues, teething problems, but hey, you know what? I'm here at Daytona. I'm riding a motorcycle, and I'm glad we're here getting prepared for this stuff. And I think tomorrow will be a better day, a better 4 hours. Hopefully we'll be able to get out there and utilize all that time and figure a couple new tricks out of it.
You think you might be able to tell us some of those?
It's all silly things, you know. I mean, there's no top secret stuff, you know. We have basic settings on the machine, and we really didn't get to go through or try anything. So I'm still not sure how far I can lean the thing over, just like the 600, you know. I don't have a good feel for any of that yet. We took a stab at a couple of things, but, you know, I only went out and rode like true laps for maybe 10 or 15 laps at the most in a 4-hour session, because we had some engine management problems just getting this thing to run. And so we have some questions about gearing, how that affects how the bike feels in the infield, and, you know, different things like that. There's just a lot of things to kind of sort out. So, and then the feel of the motorcycle is just different than anything I've ever ridden. Again, the clutch is a lot different than the other bikes that I've ridden. How the engine decells, picking up the throttle and getting the mapping right, because this is the first stab these guys have ever taken at putting a fuel map through Magneti Marelli into this engine, and they have no idea what it's supposed to run like either, other than on an engine dyno. So all of us are learning a whole lot. Those guys are going to crunch data all night, and they're going to try to come up with a solution that's a bit better than what we had today. I'm going to think about it a little bit. Tomorrow we'll work on a couple of chassis things and see what we can come up with. And you know, it's hard to say whenever you've got something so new and you're making so many changes. It's hard to say, oh, this is going to be the ticket, this is going to be the ticket. When we get things narrowed down, we start fine-tuning some more things, and we go, okay, we got this pretty much covered, this is pretty good, now let's work on this. Then I can tell you more of the, like, you know, getting to the nitty-gritty kind of things. This is more of an overall, we're trying to make something out of a bunch of parts that make a motorcycle, so see how it works.